Hello, I'm Karena.
And I'm Jamie.
Welcome to As Told by ADHD. This podcast is the brainchild of two best friends with ADHD who share a passion for learning and a knack for finding the most fascinating tidbits of knowledge.
Each week, we embark on a wild and hilarious journey of discovery as we dive headfirst into topics that pique our curiosity, from dark folklore to bizarre statistics, cultural ceremonies, and even famous dead people. We're here to entertain, educate, and tickle your funny bone.
This week on As Told by ADHD, we are getting into, drumroll please, blah, 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 blah. I can't hear
Can you
it.
hear that?
No.
There's no way you can hear that.
Weird sports. We're getting into weird, quirky, possibly very dangerous sports today that are very uncommon.
All right. You know what time it is.
It's time for that coin flip. Flip it. Flip it real good. Dun, 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 dun.
Wait, what do you want?
Heads.
So tails. So I go first.
You go
Okay.
first.
Okay. Here is the world of weird sports. I don't know how to pronounce Finnish words, and we're going to Finland right now in this podcast. Welcome to Finland, the world of Finnish people and weird sports, specifically wife carrying.
Wife carrying.
Wife carrying.
Let's dive in.
Let's talk about the goal of wife carrying. The goal is to carry a person around the track as fast as possible.
Carry your wife.
Well, the rules have been updated to be more politically correct, which I love. So it doesn't have to be a wife. It doesn't even have to be your wife, which is hilarious to me. It could be your neighbor's wife. It could be, it just has to be a wife. Or it has to be, so it now says person instead of wife in the rules. So the carried person and the carrier is what they use in the rules now. It used to say the wife and the husband. However, now it's gender inclusive. We can have non-binary people. We can have people who are
Just
same-sex
all.
couples. Just everybody. It's very inclusive. I love that. However, the minimum weight of the carried person is 49 kilograms, which for our American listeners who don't know the metric system, is it the metric system?
Yes. Well, it's just specific metrics to each country, yes.
Yes. That would be 108 pounds. So the minimum weight is 108 pounds.
108 pounds?
That's the minimum weight. Like, if you weigh less than 108 pounds as the carried person,
Oh, okay.
then you are put, like, then you have, like, a stipulation where you have to wear a weighted backpack, basically. And so it's, like, kind of equal. You can weigh more than that, but the minimum weight is 108 pounds or 49 kilograms. It specifically says the carried person will be burdened with a rucksack containing additional weight if you don't meet the weight requirements.
But, like, how would you hold that on your body while you're on the back of somebody? I don't get it.
It's a rucksack, so it's like...
I know, but, like, you're, like, trying to hold on and you're also holding a rucksack. Like, that sounds...
Well, so, like, on Instagram, I'll post these pictures, but if you Google it, then you'll see that they come up with some creative ways to carry these people. It is hilarious. Okay, so...
But it has to be so hard. Sorry. It has to be
No.
so hard for somebody to be under 108 pounds unless they have, like, a child bride.
It's funny that you mentioned that because the carried person has to be 17 years old or above. So the minimum age is 17 years, and the carrier has to be 18 years or older.
Gotcha.
That being said, well, I mean, it could easily be like a little person or it could just be someone who's really short and really skinny, you know? Like, because those people aren't going to weigh as much as someone who is like average size, average weight.
Right. I gotcha.
Yeah. The official track is 253 0.5 meters, which, if you want to do the math on that, it is 831.7 feet or 277.23 yards. Which, if you want to like visualize that, it is a little over 2 American football fields or 2 soccer / European football fields.
That's like far.
It is far.
To be carrying somebody.
Yeah. So, the track contains 2 dry obstacles and 2 water obstacles, and the water obstacles are around a meter deep. And the only equipment that is allowed by the rules of this game or this sport is the carried person can have a helmet, which is great. And the carrier can have like one of those weight belts. What are those called?
I don't know, but I know exactly what you mean.
It's like you put it on for like support on your back. It's
yeah,
like
the
really thick belt.
If you're a power lifter,
yeah.
Or if somebody has ever watched a video on powerlifting, it's those big leather belt things that help support your back. I was told just now that it's just called a weightlifting belt.
Nice.
So
a weightlifting belt. I love that we have a in-house dictionary.
We do have an in-house dictionary and or geographical genius.
Oh, nice.
He knows everything about geography. Literally everything. Try it. Try everything. He knows everywhere.
Okay. I'm gonna give him. Tell us exactly where Loch Ness is.
She said, "Tell us exactly where Loch Ness is."
If he just says Scotland, I'm gonna punch him.
He actually has no idea, so maybe he's not a geographical
Damn it.
genius.
Okay, he needs to study up.
No. What he knows is like, if you go to a continent and you pick out a country and you tell him where exactly this country is. And he can also tell you what surrounds that country, like all the countries that surround that country.
Okay,
like,
it's
very impressive.
Tell me what's around Finland.
She said, "What's around Finland? Sweden, Russia."
Really? I thought it was more west than that.
Russia's huge.
I know Russia's huge, but I didn't know it bordered it. Does it border it?
Borders Estonia to the north. But yeah, there you go. She said Estonia, or he said Estonia.
She said
Estonia is actually separated from the Netherlands, from Finland, by like a little stream of water.
Nice.
It's like a little channel of water.
Nice.
So Finland is actually not touching.
Nice. Question. Does he happen to know in feet how many is 1 meter?
He said 3.1 feet, so we're gonna do that, okay?
Okay, so like I said, the track contains 2 dry obstacles and 2 water obstacles, which is about 1 meter deep, which I was told is how much?
3.1, but he also changed it to 3.37.
Okay, nice.
3.28.
Let's keep changing it. Okay. So, and like I said, the only equipment is a helmet and then the weightlifting belt. Each competitor is responsible for their own safety and insurance. So, you need to be insured medically, and also you need to be dealing with your own safety in that manner, because this sport can get crazy.
Dude, I bet they have to sign so many waivers.
Oh yeah.
So many waivers. It's probably a packet 100 pages thick.
I bet. You're so right. If the contestant, meaning the carrier, drops the wife or the carried person, then he or she has to lift the carried person back on their back or in his arms to continue carrying.
Wow.
Also, one of the rules is all participants must have fun.
You must have fun while you struggle to carry another human. Oh my gosh.
Honestly,
that sounds...
I can't imagine, like, not laughing the entire time.
The first race, yes, but then you have those competitive people
True.
out there who literally just see red. They just go.
True.
Nothing else.
I don't know. Also, another thing that happens is they send two couples at a time. So there's, like, the competitive aspect of that, but they also time them, so then that's how they determine who the winner is.
Interesting.
So it's not all at once. It's, like, two at a time.
So when did this originate?
I'm going to get there.
Okay.
So the last thing I want to say is the winning couple is the one that completes the course in the shortest amount of time, like I just said. There are other versions of this race. There is a teams competition where there are 3 carriers and they take turns. This is hilarious. So it's all the same rules, except at the exchange point, the carried person has to drink 0.5 liters of water. I guess to add weight. I don't know.
I would have to pee so bad.
Yeah. They have to finish the water before continuing the race. And it specifically says if the water spills, the judge can take 15 seconds off. So I'm assuming that the carried person cannot be put down. So they have to continue being carried while they're drinking this water. But they can't fully exchange to the next person without drinking that water first. And after they finish the drink, the next carrier can lift the carried person and start the track. So that is the teams competition. And there's 3 people that carry, so the carried person would be exchanged twice, which is weird to say. Also,
you're exchanging the wife.
Yes.
It's just the thought. I know it's anybody, but just like,
I know.
Here, take my wife.
Yes. So there is a senior competition. Same exact rules as the first set of rules that I gave. Obviously, there's no, like, exchanging because it's just a senior competition.
Right.
Which, like, this might be offensive to some. The senior competition, you must be 40 years old or older. So I guess when you're 40, you're a senior in Finland.
Dude, that's, like, offensive.
I know.
No, I'm kidding. But, like, you still have to be kind of able-bodied, I feel like, to... You kind of have to not be at the point of arthritis yet, hopefully.
Yes. Okay, so there's one final race, and it is called the sprint, the wife-carrying sprint. It's the same exact rules, except it's a shorter track, and I think, like, you can't, like, let your pace go down. So, like, you just have to keep going as fast as you can.
It has to stay completely consistent. That's difficult.
I know. But, like, that one is harder. From what I could tell, all of the entry fees are the same for each race. Except for the teams one, everybody pays the same entry fee. So it's, like, more money because it's, like I think it was, like, 52 euros. So it was, like, 52 for each person. And, like, it's 52 for each person no matter who, like, which race you're in. But, like, it's going to be more because you get it.
Yeah. You get it. You get what I'm saying. Do y'all get it? We have to make sure that y'all get it, too, because me and Jamie kind of bounce off of each other. Mentally, we just kind of get it, but I don't know if y'all get it. So do you get it?
If you don't, you can ask questions, but this isn't live, so I don't know how to answer you.
And we might not remember what we're trying to get you to get.
Yeah, do you get it? Do you got it?
So do you get it?
Do you get it? Did you get it this time? I think you got it. You got it.
I think we're ready.
You're smart. You got it.
I'm so proud of you.
Okay, so the winners will be awarded with products. This came off the official site. I have no idea what these products are. It did not specify. It just said they will be rewarded with products.
A product. They give you like a bar of soap because you stink.
Yeah. They also will be awarded with wife-carrying medals. That also came off the site.
What do the medals look like? I want to know what the medals look like.
I don't know. I couldn't find them. I'll try to do some research and then I'll put a picture on our Instagram. There's also awards for the most entertaining couple of the day, and the best costume of the day, and the strongest carrier of the day. And they will all be awarded special prizes. Did not specify what these prizes are. It just said special prizes. Also, there's one more thing I want to talk about. I could not find information in English on this because, like, on their website, it was mainly pictures of, like, Finnish. So instead of, like, being able to translate text that they put on the website, it was pictures. So it wouldn't translate the pictures, obviously.
Gotcha.
So I didn't know how to find more information about this because no matter where I went, it was not in English and I don't understand Finnish. If you know the rules of this part, please tell me. I need to know.
There is a girl who I watch. It's a podcaster. She's great. And she just now got to the point, probably like a couple months ago, got to the point to where she could hire translators or foreign researchers for almost every single topic that she does that's, international. I want to get to that point. That'd be so cool.
If you want to give us money, friends. You can give us money and then we could have translators. Thanks. Okay, so I want to know the rules for this so bad. It says, okay, the title is Karaoke Wife Carrying Competition.
Wow.
I really
need to know.
Same. I'm assuming it's the same rules, and I'm assuming you have to sing while you're doing it. That is my assumption. I don't know. I really want to know the rules to this. Or if it's just like you're carrying someone while you're like singing on stage. I don't know. I want to know.
I feel like the inspiration of certain Disney movies, certain musicals in general, had to get inspiration from somewhere. I mean, they're all working and doing very hard labor while singing very passionately. So it had to come from somewhere.
Very true. Okay, that was the last tidbit that I have on the rules. Now let's get into the history. Okay, there are a lot of Finnish words in this history that I do not know and I will mispronounce. So please have grace for my mispronunciations. Thank you. It was invented in Finland, obviously, where it was called... Oh, I'm going to butcher this so bad.
Butcher it for me, Jamie.
I'm going to butcher it so good. Ikonkanato. Ikonkanato is what it looks like it says. I don't think that's right at all. Okay, so the roots have been dated back to the Viking Age, which makes so much sense to me, personally.
And it is Finland.
True. But it is... believed to be invented, in quotation marks, invented by a bandit leader. I'm going to butcher his name. His name is Hiriko Rajvo Ronkainen. I think that's so wrong in so many ways.
I wish you guys could see her fingers are just like ear go like back and forth, like with every single syllable she's saying, her fingers were moving back and forth, and her mouth was wide open, trying to like figure out how to move her mouth with each word.
It was rough.
That was very entertaining.
I'm gonna try it again, and I'm not gonna use my fingers.
She has her fingers locked in front of the camera. Let's do this.
Okay. Nope. Hirko Rashvo Ronkainen. Bam.
I'm so proud of you.
Maybe. That might be real wrong. But anyway, so he was a bandit leader in the 1800s. There are 3 possible origins to how he started this. He supposedly ran around with his gang of thieves, causing harm to villagers, which is crazy. Why would you do that? You are an awful person.
I'm ready. I think I know where this is going, and I'm ready for it.
The first possible origin is that this bandit leader and his thieves were accused of stealing food and abducting women from villages in the area where he lived.
I knew it.
Yeah.
He was a wife stealer.
Probably.
He would have a rucksack full of stolen goods and a wife on his back.
And a wife on his back. I mean, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe he just got a thrill, you know? So, that was the first possible one. And the reason why it was, wife carrying is because he would steal women. The second one is that young men would go to neighboring villages and abduct women to forcibly marry. So it wasn't already women who were wives. It was women that they wanted to be their wife.
So they would just take the women. I just don't understand. Like, maybe if it's wife dragging, that would be one thing. But how is it wife carrying? Like,
because they would throw them on their back and just be like, "You're mine now."
Yeah, but if you just wiggle enough, that dude's gonna fall over. They're malnourished back then, you know. They're sickly.
Maybe. Obviously, these men weren't because they were stealing food.
Obviously, I know. Right?
So they're not malnourished. Everybody else is malnourished because he stole all the food. It says that often women who were already married, so they would take them and wife them up.
You're my wife now.
Yeah, basically.
That's so weird.
This was referred to as the practice of wife stealing.
Wow.
And lastly, the bandit leader would train his thieves to be faster and stronger by carrying big, heavy sacks on their back, which eventually turned into wife carrying somehow. So those were the 3 possible origins. I'm not saying his name again because, oh my God, I feel embarrassed because I know I mispronounced it.
Like, why can't we just know all languages, Jamie?
I know.
Why?
I wish I could just, plug in and then download all languages.
Babbel, sponsor us.
Or Duolingo would be great. I use Duolingo.
Duolingo, yeah, that's great too.
So those are the 3 possible origins of this sport. And yeah, so that is the sport of wife carrying. It is still labeled as wife carrying, even though they have made the rules more inclusive to where you can really carry anybody as long as they're over 17. Over 17
within a certain weight.
Well, I mean,
and it's not against their will, and they sign waivers saying that they're not being stolen.
True. But it doesn't have to be a certain weight. If you are under that weight limit, then, or weight minimum, then
I'm sure
you have to add weight.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure they're not going to let you, try to carry a 300-pound human, because that's just,
I mean, I don't know why.
That's just cause for everything to break.
Well, they're responsible for their own safety and insurance. So
hence the 100-page waiver.
Right. So
at your own risk.
If they decide to carry someone who's 300 pounds, then that's their deal,
I feel that.
That's wife carrying.
Bahda Pow, Bahda Boom. She did that.
Let's take a small little break.
It's break time. It's time to pee.
It really is.
So, hey. For you, that was a millisecond. For us, it was roughly
an eternity. No. An eternity.
It was an eternity.
Always.
It was an eternity. It's always an eternity.
It's so painful being away from you.
Yeah, we miss you guys every single time without fail. So, how you doing? It's been a solid 30 minutes, and we haven't heard from you guys, and we just missed you. Our hearts were aching.
Yeah, but luckily for you only had us gone for, so short of a time.
I know. Anyways, it's my turn. Let's get into it.
Please
do. So I got 3, technically, but I just had so much fun. I'm not going to dive in for very, very long. There's categories. There's a little cool, cute one, just very cute. One that's just a little weird, okay? And one that's extreme, in my opinion, okay? So, we're going to start mild,
Okay.
Mild. It involves some of our favorite little furry friends, dogs.
Okay.
For those who do not like dogs, That's okay. We love dogs, though. Me and Jamie, big dog fans, right? So, dogs, we love them. They can give us allergies, and they can sometimes be aggressive depending on their their backstory, their history. And sometimes they rub their butts on your carpet, but we just love them anyways, and they can do some pretty cool things.
Or they have leaky buttholes. That is a fact.
Speaking from her dog experience.
That is very, very, very true.
So dogs can do.
If you have a pug, you probably understand.
Yeah, pugs. Yeah. So dogs can do a plethora of really, really cool things. But did you know that other than dog shows, they have their own sport?
I love this.
With rules, guidelines, corporations, all of that. Dog surfing. We've probably heard of it.
I did see this one. I did.
Yes.
There was like a pug that was on a surfboard, and I was like, ah!
Yes, dog surfing, it's a thing. So when I was looking this up, the funny thing is that dogs are very smart, okay? They actually do have a lot of common sense, unless, like humans, stuff happens, right? But it says on the website, this was on, it was stadiumlink, I believe, .com. And they stated whether the dog realizes it's participating in a surf competition or not is irrelevant. At least we know they're having fun.
That's true. Listen, Freddie would not have fun. He hates water. Hates it. He refuses to touch water unless he's drinking it.
Oh, that's so sad. He probably hates baths so much.
Oh my God, he does. I have to like put a stool in the bathtub and like let him.
Oh no!
And like I have to be in the bathtub with him, and so I have to like sit on the stool while I wash him, or he's like absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
I know.
He's probably just. I can imagine the look he gives you while he's getting a bath too. He probably is just like this. This is how you treat me after everything we've been through.
But then he loves getting out, and he gets the zoomies, and he's like, yeah, this is the best day ever.
I'm free. But I can't really find the origin of dog surfing. But I guess it kind of started in the earlier, I guess I should say 1900s.
Do we know when surfing was invented?
I don't know when surfing was invented. It had to be a long time ago, though.
I'm gonna Google it.
Are you gonna Google it? She's Googling it.
I'm Googling it.
Dun, dun, dun. This is wait music. Dun, 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 dun. Google. Dun, 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 dun. She's Googling. Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh, okay. It looks like it was invented. No, hold on. I'm getting conflicting things. Okay, this one says it was invented in Hawaii, which makes sense.
Makes sense.
No. The earliest evidence of surfing can be traced back to the 12th century.
Wow.
In Polynesia.
That's not. Yeah, I mean that actually is not surprising. I mean, you gotta find stuff to do. You see something floating and you hang on to it, and then somebody was like, "Hey, look, I can balance."
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but like, I don't know. It's just hard to think of like people way back then doing modern things. Yeah,
I guess. Everything starts somewhere. So.
Everything starts somewhere. It's giving Hillary Duff vibes. Lizzie McGuire.
Circa, what was that, early 2000s, yeah. Copyright. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it was enough. Also, I don't even know the words. I just remember that.
But the earliest dog surfing that was documented was in the 1920s in California, and then in Hawaii in the 1930s. There was a photo clipped somehow. I don't really know when cameras were invented, so bear with me. We're new research people, so like we're learning. So in the 1920s, there was a photograph, and then in the 1930s, there was a silent film created in Hawaii. And created created in the 1930s in Hawaii. The silent film was titled "On the Waves" in Waikiki, and it depicts Philip K. Auna, Auna, and his dog. It was a terrier named Nighthawk, and they were surfing together on a wooden surfboard. And the dog was actually able to perform the hang 10 maneuver on the surfboard. And if you don't know what hang 10 is, I believe it's essentially my researcher off to the side here let me know that cameras were invented in 1816. So there's that tidbit. And so someone was able to take a picture in the 1920s of a dog and a human surfing together. But the hang 10 maneuver is essentially when you do a handstand and you have your toes up in the air.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah.
The name implies that your feet, your little toesies are hanging off.
No. Your
little tootsies.
Your little tootsies. Verbatim, it says hang 10 is the nickname for any of several maneuvers used in sports, especially surfing, wherein all 10 toes and fingers are used to accomplish the maneuver. The longboarding maneuver, during which the rider hangs all 10 toes off the front end of the surfboard.
See, that's what I thought it was.
There is other, and then there's other, now it's doing handshakes. Okay, there's a rabbit hole. Okay. But the dog was able to hang 10, and it's really cool. It's really fun. Funky fresh.
Love that.
The fact that dogs can do
what kind of dog was
such
it?
Amazing things. It was a terrier. I'm not sure what type of terrier, but it was documented as a terrier. So a smaller dog. Mm-hmm. Terriers are actually very agile, so it doesn't surprise me. His name was Nighthawk. I want to know what he looks like, because all we have is a silent film, mm-hmm. version of him. But
I will do a Google deep dive and try to find a picture, and if I find one, I'll put it on Instagram.
Google deep dive, let's go. So it was, I don't know when it started, but there was a giant surfing competition, and it was called the Surfing Dog Spectacular, and it was just a big competition. They would have them in Hawaii and California for dogs to participate with or without a human. So the human would paddle them out and then help them catch a wave, and then they would bring it all the way. They'll bring it home. All the way home. It was renamed in 2017 just to be the Surfing Dog Championship. But yeah, the dogs are trained to surf either alone or with people, and the judging is very similar to surfing, like normal surfing. The criteria are, well, for the dogs, it's overall certainty on the board. And I feel like that's the same for humans, like confidence, wave size, and ride length. So like how long they're able to ride the wave. Riding the wave, let's go. Do you know that song?
No.
Oh, it's from the backyard again. Stagum.
I did not. That was way after my time.
I have a lot of brothers, so. But the largest dog surfing competition is held in California at Imperial Beach, but they have it in Florida. They have fundraisers. It's called Surf Up Dogs. It's also in California. They have the Noosa Festival in Australia. Like, they have so much, and I just thought it was really, really cool. So that was my first one.
I love that.
Now let's get a little spicy, a little weird. So we went to Finland.
We did.
We came back to Hawaii.
Yeah.
California. We came back to the States a little bit. Now we're hopping back to Finland.
Hell yeah, we are.
Because they be doing the craziest things, and they get turned into sports, right? She's literally eking at her dog right now.
He just did the cutest thing. Sorry. He stretched and then was like, ooh.
Oh.
So cute. Okay,
so
I really hope that there is some Finnish words that you have to pronounce so you can be as miserable as I was when I had to do it.
There's not much, but there are.
Good.
There are Finnish words. It originated in Finland. We are going to talk about hobby horsing. Have you heard of that before?
I have not.
Hobby horsing. It involves... Can you think?
Okay, I'm going to try to imagine. Okay. So I think that it is painting a horse and then parading it around town with your own designs on this horse.
That would be cooler. I'm just kidding. But it does involve creativity. So you are spot on there. Hobby horsing is when you take a horse, not just any horse, a pretend horse, but not just any pretend horse, a stick horse, like the children play with, like my son has. Okay? You can make your own, you can make it, fit your body type, you can have all the designs. It could be your dream majestical, beautiful unicorn, we don't discriminate here.
I immediately need to see a picture of this.
But we have human beings, mostly girls, in between the ages of 12 through 18, create their own stick horse, aka a hobby horse, and ride their little imaginary pretend horse through a course of obstacles. Yes. Through a course of obstacles as correctly and as quickly as they can. So...
I'm looking at pictures and oh my god, this is hilarious. Oh my god, they're jumping so high.
It is a real sport. So I can't think of the exact name of the sport.
It specifically says hobby horsing.
No, the sport where actual horses do this. So it's an actual sport that somebody can do with their horse. My mom trained for the Olympics way back when with horses in Germany. She did.
Your mom?
My mom.
Your mom has such a random life.
She has history, okay?
So she went.
So
how
this is
old
way
was
back
she?
when. She was a teenager.
She went to Germany as a teenager to ride horses.
Train for the Olympics.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there
So it's
pictures of
horse.
this?
It could be at my grandma's house.
Okay.
So my mom trained, and I can't think of the name. It's
Isn't
like on the tip of my tongue.
Equestrian or something?
Yeah, something like that, where the horses run and jump over different heights through obstacles. Now take that with real animals, where you have to put in a lot more work. I feel like,
show
my
jumping.
opinion. Show jumping. Okay. So take show jumping, where you have a real horse, where you have to train an animal as well as yourself, spend decades, on this horse, and then simplify it, I guess, quote unquote, for the kids, so that they can have the full experience. And I quote, it gives kids and teenagers who don't have horses a chance to interact with them at outside stables and at riding schools, but they're riding imaginary horses.
This is hilarious.
So it's giving them this experience, but they're riding toy stick horses.
This is way more humane than show jumping. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. But it has a lot of gymnastic elements, because these girls are having to jump really high. There's a bunch of different levels. This is actually impressive. Yeah, you're gonna have to post that on Instagram. Like, it's actually really impressive.
I might blur the faces of the children, just because, even though it's like public, I don't want to like put children out there without consent.
Yeah. But the sport, the only origin story I could really find was the sport was introduced. It said that the sport was introduced to a wider public through Selma Vilhunen's 2017 film, and this is where I'm gonna butcher it. This is my Finnish word it's a name of a movie. Kepi Hevostin Valhan Kumos. It's translated to Hobby Horse Revolution. Yes. She actually won 2 awards at the 2017 Tampere Film Festival. So it got popular. And they're just like, we have got to do this in real life. And they did. And they have full-on championships for this annually. The annual national championship is held in addition to regional competitions, particularly popular with girls and young women aged 12 through 18. So
this is so funny. Let's go to Finland and watch this sport, because I would thrive watching this sport.
I feel like if we go to Finland, we would have to do a tour of just sports.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding. Even
watch
if we
the
watch
wife
a practice,
carrying and
exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's a little weird. It involves a lot of athleticism. So I kind of wish that I could just practice just so I can have.
Let's practice.
If I can
Let's
have the
have
bounce,
our own.
I want the bounce.
Listen, how about me and you?
Mm-hmm.
We get these hobby horses,
mm-hmm.
and we have our own competition between the two of us.
I'm down. I'll just take my kids. I'll take my kids. I'll decorate a little bit. Put some poles up in the yard. Done.
Okay.
You're going down. So that was my medium one.
We got
a little
dancer's calves, so I can hop pretty good.
You do. You have very impressive calves. I will give you that hands down.
So watch out.
Yeah, that was my weird one. We had a little bit of a slightly spicy salsa with just a sprinkle of jalapenos, maybe a little sprinkle of serranos. Okay. Now we're going habanero, just eating the pepper. Okay. Are you ready?
Absolutely. After that last one,
imagine. I know, right?
Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes.
Imagine.
Okay.
A sport.
Okay.
Out there.
Yes.
Where you have to think and outsmart an opponent, right? Strategize, think their move before your own in multiple aspects. Okay.
Are you about to talk about chess boxing?
Chess boxing.
I almost did this one, and then I was like, no.
It was so fun. Yes, chess boxing. It was. So I watched an entire game of this. For those who are, I guess, fans of streamers, you would know who the event extraordinaire that is Ludwig.
Oh, did he do one of these?
He did one, yes.
Oh my
7
God.
months ago, he posted an event, or he went live with an event.
Was he in it, or was he,
no, he
posting
narrated.
It? Okay.
No, he narrated. It was an event made by him and
that
his
is hilarious.
Team.
I love this.
He held an event. He is so good at holding events. He holds events for literally everything. He's literally the planning king, okay? And we have 2 streamers.
Okay.
One who I'm very familiar with. The other one I'm not so familiar with, but it's still super funny. I thought it was great. We have Disguised Toast.
No, did he box?
Yes.
I cannot picture that, but I'm here for it.
And Point Crow, which I don't know not super familiar with Point Crow, but I mean Disguised Toast. It's known that Disguised Toast is a genius.
Yeah,
he's like a strategy genius.
Mm-hmm.
He's not possibly the best fighter out there, but I don't know how short notice that he got. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's very good at strategizing. I'm not too sure about Point Crow. I don't really know him too much, but it was very entertaining. So let me get into what chess boxing is.
Wait, okay. So did Ludwig hold the first ever game of this, or is this a game that already? Okay.
No, it's a game that's already out. It gets so much deeper than Mr. Ludwig, but Mr. Ludwig, I guess made it a little bit popular in America by doing this, because like that was great. I'm not gonna lie. And he has a very big following, so a lot of people were exposed to chess boxing.
Right.
Probably did think that he made it up, but I didn't watch his whole live stream, so I didn't know if he disclaimed anything or, you know. But chess boxing, the definition is beating each other over the head, then using that to outsmart your opponent during a round of chess. It said, and I quote, essentially, chess boxing is a hybrid of two sports, chess and boxing, and is played 11 rounds and is particularly popular in Germany, UK, India, and Russia. So, at first, I was just like, Russia, hands down, right?
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Because they just love to fight. They love to fight out there. You know, they're fighting for everything out there, you know? But it's actually, I think it was Dutch is how it originated. Okay. So, I'll get into all of that. Oh, here was another quote. It says, fighting is done in the ring, and wars are waged on the board.
Love it.
It's determined by either knockout or checkmate.
Okay. So, whatever happens first.
Yes, whatever happens first. So, the board is set up in the middle of a boxing ring, and the odd number of rounds are chess rounds, and the even ones are fights with 1 minute breaks in between. So it starts off, you have to use your smarts, you're fresh faced, you're ready to go, and you start, you know, getting at that chessboard game. And then when the round ends, you get a minute break, get ready to fight, and then you fight for a whole round trying not to get knocked out. And so you are sweaty and tired, and you have to sit back down and concentrate, get in the zone to outsmart your opponent for a round. And it just keeps going until checkmate or someone gets knocked out. In the event of a tie, they either go off of points from the chess rounds, because you have to do clicks, right? Or the points earned in the boxing, each boxing round, which I feel like is kind of exhausting to have to calculate, unless they're just, you know, taking note of that as as it's going, just in case they end in a tie.
I think they have to keep count of that.
Well, they have to keep count, but like they have to consolidate it into like one point number. Does that make sense? But I just think how exhausting would that be to have to mentally put everything into outsmarting someone, get beat up, and then sit down, calm yourself down, concentrate, and try to outsmart someone again, and then up, and then have to fight somebody again with your adrenaline going. So you're like constantly having to come on and off of adrenaline, hopefully, if you can. But it gets pretty bad. It gets pretty messy.
I feel like my strategy would be, like, because I'm not the strongest person in the world, right? But I am, like, quick. So I think what I would do is I would focus on the chess portion. If I know how to play chess, but not, like, well. But I would focus on the chess portion, and then when it came to the boxing, I would just constantly, like, I wouldn't, unless I, like, find a shot where I could, like, actually hit, I would, like, try to dodge as much as possible.
I feel like that's the best way to go, especially if you, I don't know how, like Ludwig's, I don't know how much in advance, like, notice in advance, they really had to prepare for something like this. So I'm pretty sure most training went into deflecting, you know, defense, essentially, and maybe just like standard
who won
combinations. I believe it was, hold on, was it Disguised Toast? I think so.
Did he win off of the chess?
Yes. Yeah. So Disguised Toast. The winner was Disguised Toast, and it was off of checkmate. So he was able to outsmart him by being the strategizing king that he is. A lot of people are very skeptical to even play games with him. Like against him. Because he's hardcore, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's a pretty hardcore guy. Like, really mental. He could probably make somebody go insane. I can definitely see him being that type.
I have
to
watched
make someone
him
go insane.
play Among Us, and oh my god, he's
during
always
the
20
lockdown
steps ahead.
Yes, everybody gaslighting. Oh my gosh, no, can't.
I would never trust him if I ever had to play against him, which I never would, because I would lose, and
I would lose 100%.
Unless I got paid to lose, then I would probably do it.
So let's go into the origin story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So there is what kind of artist is he? Hold on, where was this? It was a performance. Okay. So it was stated that it was technically, allegedly, okay? I have to use that word because I just don't know the details of it very much, but it kind of makes sense later on. Created by a performance artist named Lepe Rubing. He's a Dutch artist. And he had this idea of holding a competition, an event, back in 2003. So that's the first recorded chess boxing event, and it was held in Berlin. And then that same year, I guess people got into it. That same year, they had their first chess boxing championship in Amsterdam, which is in the Netherlands. So we're there now. And well, he's labeled as a performance artist and athlete and the founder of chess boxing. And he's also the founder of the whole organization. There's a whole organization, the World Chess Boxing Organization, or WCBO. And I say allegedly that he's the founder of chess boxing because there are articles stating that the idea originated from a 1992 comic. It was called Freud Equator. It was written by a French comic book artist, Inky Bilal, and it portrayed a chess boxing championship. But the only difference, I guess, between Rubing and Bilal is the fact that in his story, in his comic, the competitors played an entire boxing match before they faced each other in a whole game of chess. So they are dead, essentially. Dead, tired, bloody face, swollen eyes, all of that. And then they have to sit for an entire game of chess.
Wow.
So I think they call him the founder because he changed it. There's 11 rounds. They're intertwined. There's breaks. It just says that Rubing further developed it. The sport with alternating rounds as well as a set of rules and regulations. So that's why, he's listed technically as the founder, because he pretty much made everything. He legalized everything. He went through all the logistics of it. He put in all the extra work compared to this comic book writer who, just had this idea for, a story. But technically he invented chess boxing in his story. So that is my spicy one. You get your head bashed in, and then you have to sit and focus. I can't imagine the mental loops you have to go through to have that amount of focus, that amount of energy, that amount of control. I have tachycardia. I don't think I'd be able to. I don't think I don't think my heart rate would let me chill out long enough to focus and try to strategize against an opponent in chess, and then knowing that I have to literally fight and try my best not to get knocked out.
I feel like the crazy thing about me is that I'm the type of person that I have anxiety on a daily basis, but when it's an actual situation where you should have anxiety, or if it's fight or flight or like it seems like life threatening, I am so focused and my head is so clear that I can just like get shit done. So
Yeah.
I think I could do
I'm not
it.
that
Do I
type.
want to? No.
No.
Could I? Probably.
Because boxing is, like, that's rough. It's not like WWE where that stuff is scripted. Like, you have one goal. You
Right.
are trying to outsmart your opponent in a fighting skill.
Yeah.
But I mean, the goal is to knock him out or to get as many hits or points as possible. So having to just come off of that and then sit down, calm down, focus, try to think of their move before yours in a completely different context is,
Right.
I mean, I think that's impressive. I want to know who the reigning championship is for chess boxing in Europe. I might have to dive into that.
I wish I knew how to play chess better. Like there was this one time I was playing chess with someone and I didn't know what I was doing. I used to play like on my laptop and stuff when I was younger, but
Mm-hmm.
I still don't fully understand it. Like I know where the pieces move, but I don't know like strategy around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I specifically remember that me and the person I was playing against, we both knew that I was like not good.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow I beat him. And he was so upset because he was not expecting me to win.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting to win. Like, I remember being like, checkmate. And he was like, what?
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know. And like,
I don't know how this happened.
and then he was like, I cannot believe that you just did that. I don't know how you just did that. And I was like, I honestly don't either. And he was like, we have to play again.
Do you know what we should do?
What?
We should play it on iPhone against each other.
I would lose every time.
Well, I haven't played either. I'm good at pool.
I used to be
because
good
of
at
my
pool,
dad, and that's pretty much it.
The last time I played pool, oh my god, okay, listen to this story.
I'm
the last
ready.
time I played pool, I was out with some friends in town, like where all the bars are. And we went to this bar, and there's like a bunch of pool tables in the back. And like all the pool tables were like taken. And we were sitting around waiting for a pool table. And then like we asked somebody and I was like, hey, are you guys gonna be done soon? And she was like, no, we're not, but these guys, I guarantee, like the people next to them, I guarantee if you like ask them, they'll let you join. And I was like, oh, okay. And but like I was with like a big group, not a big group, there was like 4 of us, and I didn't want to like join random people with the group that I had because I was like, it's gonna be more fun
Right.
with these people instead of like with random people because these
Right.
guys seem like iffy. And then I like walked up to them and I was like, hey, are you guys gonna be done soon? And they were like, no, not really. But then they started kind of flirting with me and I was like, haha, okay, bye. And so like I went and sat down. But the girl at the table that I asked first, she ends up going over to the guys and like talking to them, and then she comes back to me and she's like, listen, just flirt with them, they will let you have the table. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. She grabs my hand and pulls me to these guys, and everybody's wasted at this point. Except like I'm not wasted. Like for somehow I ended up being the most sober person of the night, and I think I was DD. That's probably why. I ended up going and like talking to these guys, and there was one like it was crazy. So one of the guys ended up like flirting with me hardcore. He was the most sober out of the 3 of them. There was another guy who was so drunk he could barely stand. So then this third guy, he was kind of trying to like he realized that I was uncomfortable and he was trying to like pull the other guys away, but like also like kind of make a joke about it. And like,
but they're also drunk, so it's like probably failing really bad.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was I joined their game, but they wouldn't let my friends join. So I was just playing with these guys. I don't know. They were sitting off to the side and we were just kind of like Summer saw I was like really uncomfortable. So she was like, okay, what do I do here? But,
Oh,
okay,
gosh.
so I go over and I sit down, and then the super, super wasted guy sits down next to me, and he's, like, leaning on me, but I don't think he realizes he's leaning on me because he's that wasted. And so he's just like,
Jeez.
and I'm like, I don't know what to do here. And then the guy that was, like, hardcore crushing on me, he walks up to me, and he's, like, flirting with me and asking me questions and blah, blah, blah. And then I stand up, and this guy, like, comes and, like, the one that's crushing on me comes and, like, stands next to me, and he's, like, kind of, like, rubbing on, not, like, he's just, like, elbow to elbow with me and, like, flirting. And then the guy who's super drunk stands up and, like, leans on me again, and so now I'm squished between these two people. And then the third one is like, oh no, she clearly uncomfortable, but he's so drunk too that he comes and he starts leaning on me. And so all three of them, and I think what he was doing was he was trying to show them how weird they were being by like doing the thing. And I was, but it
and
was
so you
awkward.
just had men all over you,
I know.
literally.
Like they were all leaning on me, and I was just like, and then Summer comes up and she's like hardcore, like, and she starts implying that we're lesbians. And she was like, you know what, she's going home with me tonight, not you. And then the guy that was crushing me was like, no, that's okay, like that's totally fine, I'm like, I like people like that, like I think it's really cool. And he was like,
he was so drunk.
he was so drunk, he was trying to be an ally, but like, I don't know, it was really funny. But then like at one point Summer threatened to fight them. It got one of them really pissed off. And then the guy who was, like, trying to cool down the situation was like, okay, no, we're leaving because, like, I'm not letting you fight this girl. And,
yeah,
my God.
So tip for people out there, flirting does not always get you what you want.
Especially if you're wasted. If you're wasted, just don't. Like, just don't.
You will end up in a fight with a male. And nobody wants that.
Right. And like the whole time I never flirted with these guys. It was all because this one girl like pulled us over or pulled me over specifically and was like, you can get them to either leave or let you join their game. But the bar was about to close in like 20 minutes when I had started playing with them, and then they left with like 15 minutes, but then like we only had like 5 minutes to play because we had to return all the stuff. It was crazy. But yeah.
That sucks, my guy.
I don't know how we got on that subject.
Oh,
pool. We were talking about pool. That's the last time I played pool.
Yeah. And then my cousin came in and was flirting with you. So, I mean, I feel like that was just a good time to segue into such a story.
Fair enough.
That went from weird sports to stories regarding a sport, which is pool. So, hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And please remember as you go throughout your week to be kind to yourself. Do something nice for yourself. And find a reason to smile every day.
Yeah. Do that.
And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.